Hey everyone, right now it's late October, which means midterm elections are right around the corner, and for many reasons, I'm happy and proud to say that I'm going to be voting blue this year. The main reason is the fact that I'm on the right side of history, and I know this because I know my history. Through my research and studying, I've discovered that there's a huge overarching theme in American history. American history has been a battle between liberals and conservatives. These two ideologies have been in a constant tug of war for the last 2 centuries. And I have many examples to back up my claims. But before we begin, I just want to point out that over the decades, political parties change. Their values and their core missions change, even their names change. However, the one thing that does remain is the liberal-conservative dynamic. It's been there since the American Revolution. It's kind of like the yin and yang of politics. Here's my first example. Number 1. During the American Revolution, the revolutionists wanted to break free from the oppressive, overbearing rule of the British Crown over the colonies. What are you doing, Tango? Are you trying to say that the revolutionaries were saying bye-bye to the crown? Bye-bye, crown. Anyway, they wanted to break free from the British rule. The British colonies were the precursor to America, and they were founded on land that was stolen from the Native Americans, but that is a totally different topic for a totally different video. On the other hand, the Tories or Loyalists wanted to remain loyal to the British Crown and maintain the status quo. They were the conservatives of the day. Ironically, the liberal revolutionaries enacted the Boston Tea Party when they dumped all the tea over into the harbor, and now, in 2014, the Tea Party is a symbol of extreme conservatism and extreme homophobia and racism. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Basically, what started the American Revolution, in 1776, a bunch of crazy liberals got together and created this epic document called the Declaration of Independence. That's right, Tango. The founding fathers were actually bleeding heart liberals, which leads me to my next point, and that is America was not founded on Christianity. America was founded on religious neutrality. Most of the founding fathers were not Christians, and the ones who did believe in a god were deists. They believed in the concept of a god, but not an organized religion. Many of them were even agnostic. On to my next point. Number 2. Oh, you just sneezed on me. Oh. That's not very civil of you, because the next point, number 2, is the Civil War. The Civil War was started when the Confederacy decided to break free to maintain the status quo of a slavery-driven economy. The Confederate States were in the South, so they relied heavily on agriculture, and naturally they wanted to maintain their source of cheap labor. Much like the conservatives of today, the Confederates were the conservatives. On the other hand, liberals believed in the equality and freedom of all human beings, so they opposed slavery. The biggest bleeding heart liberal of them all, Abraham Lincoln, ended slavery with the biggest executive order in American history, the Emancipation Proclamation. Ironically, he was the Republican Party's first president. As I said earlier, political parties change over time, and the Republican Party of 2014 is completely different, totally unrecognizable from the original Republican Party, which was created in the mid-1800s. Number 3. In the 1950s, liberals ended the ban on interracial marriage. On the other hand, conservatives wanted to maintain the status quo of racial segregation. Fortunately, in the 1960s, liberals, I'm trying to do a kind of like a balance scale here, liberals ended racial segregation. Sorry, Tango. Are you starting to see the pattern, Tango? Liberals usually win because they're on the right side of history. On to my final point. Number 4 is actually still going on right now. In the 2000s, conservatives have opposed basic human rights and religious equality for the LGBT community on the grounds that America is a Christian nation and it violates my closely held religious beliefs. On the other hand, liberals have been fighting for marriage equality and basic human rights for LGBT people, and as of late October 2014, over 32 states, including Washington, D.C., now recognize same-sex marriage. How amazing is that? The liberal victory over the Supreme Court in 2013 enabled this landslide of progress to carry on into 2014. The Supreme Court struck down the Defense of Marriage Act in 2013. By 2015, all 50 states in America will recognize same-sex marriage thanks to liberals. As you can see, liberals have been advancing progress in America since 1776. Just recently, as many young Americans have realized and seen for themselves, as usual, conservatives have used their religion to attack and justify their hatred, or to attack minorities and justify their hatred and bigotry. That the conservatives have been using the Bible and their religion to attack gays and to deny them their rights and make life miserable for them. However, most people don't even realize that in the 1800s, slave owners did this too. That's right. Slave owners used the Bible to justify slavery. In his autobiography, Frederick Douglass, a former slave, writes about his experiences, that some of the meanest, nastiest slave owners were actually the most religious because they justified their hatred and mistreatment of slaves with the biblical story of Esau, actually, and they used it to justify white supremacy and condone slavery. I will get into this into another... The effect of religion on America is a totally different topic for a totally different video, but I will discuss how religion has pretty much ruined America, but that's a totally different video for a different day. Anyway, yes. Anyway, that's about it, but Tango and I hope you guys like this video, and we hope that our historical examples have opened your eyes to the fact that liberals are always right because we are on the right side of history. We are championing, or is that even a word? We are leading, we are blazing the trail of progress and social equality in America. Side note, I don't believe in total egalitarianism. However, I do believe in equal opportunities and fair justice for all people, especially minorities and the working poor. I hate having to say working poor. People who are poor and on welfare despite the fact that they actually have a job. That's a huge problem with capitalism and with Reaganomics, which have been plaguing this country since the 80s. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Well, actually, we hope you guys like this video. We hope you learned a lot from this video, and we hope you subscribe to this channel, Inspira Chris, and our PG channel, Chris and Tango. Please stay mindful and happy voting. Bye, guys.